Guys, how are you all doing? Happy New Year to you all. It's been a long time since I've come up and spoke because Rovers hasn't played. But it's good to be back chatting shit for whatever for 5 minutes. And hope everyone had a good Christmas and New Year. And I hope this year is a lot brighter and better for everyone out there. Forgive me, I'm very, very tired. I didn't get back until 2 a.m. this morning. Didn't drink last night. Was out celebrating birthday last night. So very, very tired. And I'll be honest with you, I can't remember much about yesterday's game, so I'm not going to bore you for too much, apart from the last 5 minutes, obviously. But Rovers entertained Hartlepool yesterday. Rovers, realistic chance of building on a good 4-2 home victory just before Christmas. And we did that, and ultimately that was what matters. The performance, was poor. Probably one of the worst 2-0 performances you'll probably ever see. Hartlepool were probably reporting a daylight robbery after yesterday's game because how they didn't win that game yesterday. They'll be kicking themselves for it. But over the course of the season, things do normally balance themselves out. Remember, we played Salford earlier in the season. We deserved 3 points there. Colchester deserved 3 points there, and we didn't get them. So yesterday we kind of got our own bit of luck. It doesn't inspire me going into the Swindon game, if I'm being honest with you. Next week, that's going to be a big game there. They're on a really good run of form at the moment. I think they beat Port Vale 3-1 away yesterday. So that's going to be a massive, massive game next week. And if we can take anything from that, I will be pleased. But Rovers, they got to be thanking James Belshaw and Aaron Collins for getting them out of jail yesterday. Rovers didn't create nothing really in that first half. We had one header from Taylor, I think, which went wide. Being critical, should have hit the target. And thank heavens for Taylor, and especially at the back, because he is just leaps and bounds above anyone we've got at the back. If he can't get in Stoke's team next season, they must have some good defenders on their books. And to be honest, I just felt just so flat throughout the game, and I was just waiting for Hartlepool to score because they were just all over us, and Belshaw made some cracking saves. There was namely one towards the end, break down the left hand side, defence was split open like nothing. It would just, you might as well not been there, if I'm honest with you. And all the time in the world, I think it was Cullen, open goal, and he fires it. Belshaw, like Spider-Man or whatever, just great save, absolutely great save. You could do that 100 times and that goes in the back of the net. But that one chance for Hartlepool there, it didn't go in, and that really, after that, I kind of thought we can nick it now. And that's when the game started to turn ever so slightly. We were just knocking on the door a little bit more, and then Collins pops up, 87th minute goal, great scenes. I was quite subdued where I was, but everyone was loving it around me. And I thought after that we'll be fine. I thought Hartlepool, they were out on their knees. They were absolutely distraught. Hartlepool's number 5 defender, I thought was very, very good. Not the biggest defender, but certainly got the height and the speed. He was on his knees after that went in. To be honest, I felt sorry for Hartlepool because they really deserve something. They've made a good go of League 2 this season. Their form is at the buffers a little bit over the last couple of months. They kind of started brightly, were in and around the playoff places, but they've slipped to the bottom half of the table. And I'm sure they'll be absolutely fine. I don't think they'll go down Hartlepool. I think they're still around where Rovers are, and I think they'll be fine. That's the washing machine gone a bit quiet for a minute, so apologies if you've been hearing that for the last 4 minutes. But overall, Rovers, a great goal from Aaron Collins, and then the main event, if you will, and Collins deserved just as much credit as Anthony Evans, but great free kick from Evans. To get the ball in from that position under the bar, for it to go under the bar, great technique from the free kick. And if I'm honest, I thought Evans had a good game, but I thought he had an average one compared to his standards because I thought he was playing too deep. He should be like a number 10, but he's playing in more of a middle of the midfield kind of role, if that makes sense. He needs to be further up the pitch. He's wasted where he is. He's one of a few players I'm desperate for Rovers to keep. That being him, Belshaw, and at the moment Collins. I put Taylor on that list, but he's not our player. But, we're not really going to keep him. Someone mentioned what about Sam Nicholson. I like Sammy. He's a good player. He works his socks off, but he's not stood out this season whatsoever. And I really don't think there's. I'll be surprised if he moves to another club either this summer, or I know he's out of contract, but I won't. I'll be really disappointed if he goes, but I won't lose any sleep over it. I'll be thinking, well, we can get other players out there. He's not stood out like I thought he would this season. A lot of that, I think, is down to the formation. He's definitely a wide player, or to be played sort of in a forward three. It's quite hard to tell kind of where Barton's playing him. It's kind of a bit of a mixed bag. Sometimes he's played up front as a second striker. Sometimes he's played just behind. Get him out wide, and I really thought Nicholson would have really shone this season. I know he's had injury problems. He's still done very well. Don't get me wrong. I think he just did so well last season. But then was last season such a poor side. He stood out more. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But no hate towards Nicholson here. I know I've just kind of said my piece on that, but I just wanted to set the record straight because, I think I get a bit of unfair stick for what I say about Nicholson. I just want to set that straight because people only read what they want to read or hear what they want to hear, and they'll draw their own opinions from it, but without knowing the full story or bothering to listen to everything else. But the 3 points is all that matters for Rovers, and of course we got a chance to see the new striker Loft that we signed from Scunthorpe. You can't judge them after one game, but clear the concrete out for next Saturday in your boots. Fucking hell, he was stuck to the ground or something. He looked really unfit. I'm sure it'll come because Barton's side, I will say the season has been quite fit. We've certainly improved the fitness levels this season compared to last season. A lot of our goals have come in the last 15-20 minutes of a game. We really have kicked on in that respect. So that is one positive from this season. I fingers crossed for about the umpteenth time this season, this is a turning point for Rovers. I'm not expecting it to be. I wouldn't be surprised if we go and get wiped off the park next week by Swindon. But I hope not. Anyway, I'm going to make a move because I've got bits and pieces to do. I'm absolutely hanging, as you can see, and I will speak to you all very, very soon, and I hope you all have a good week. Take care. Bye-bye.